Let me just conclude by offering a few observations from where I sit as I watch this group of students learn, develop, and evolve as they go through their program for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll stop counting, because for some of you it's been longer than that, but several years here. A few weeks ago, I was in town at a social function, and I was having a conversation with an acquaintance of mine, and he's not a Dartmouth alum, but he's someone who works with engineers. He even hires a few engineers from time to time. And I asked him about the engineers he was working with, and he immediately sighed with some frustration and said, you know, some of them, engineers don't always listen to the client. They just come in, they think they know what needs to be done, and they want to jump in and come up with a complicated technical solution from the get-go. And then he paused and he looked at me, and I think he realized who he was talking to, and he said, but you know, he said, actually, in truth, Dartmouth engineers are different. Your engineers are different. Engineers educated in a liberal arts context are different. And his point was something that the faculty and staff gathered here today know very well about you. You ask provocative questions. You listen. Your parents may not think so, but we think so. You listen. You understand context. You know how to identify the resources at your disposal and come up with creative technical solutions. You draw upon all of your education, your liberal arts background, and your interdisciplinary engineering education in formulating a response. You know how to think. You also know how to work hard to get the job done. And to illustrate the point, I'd like to give you a few numbers, and this is perhaps the last set of data you will receive from an engineering professor before you graduate. The national average for time spent working outside the classroom for engineering students is 19 hours. That's per week, not per day. 19 hours. Now that's funny, a few of you chuckled, because for many of you I think it is in fact that many hours per day. And in fact we measure this as part of a national survey each year that we conduct of our BE program graduates. And we found that year after year, our BE students are working more than 2 to 3 times as many hours on their design projects and coursework as the national average. 2 to 3 times as much. Now perhaps that means you're just incredibly inefficient. But I don't think so, because I've spoken to the faculty who are teaching these classes, I've wandered through the project labs late at night, and I see the outcomes of your work. I see the projects, just a small subset of which we've heard about in the presentation of the awards today. And you are doing absolutely incredible and transformative things. And from the lights I see burning in Murdo and in the graduate research labs late at night, it is not just the BE students, it is not just the Couch Projects lab that's busy around the clock. Now I tell you this and make a point in commenting on your work ethic, first, so you can turn around at the end of the ceremony and say to your parents, see, I wasn't making it up. I really was working that hard when I wasn't returning your phone calls or answering your texts. I was in the lab. But I also tell you this because I know you understand that absolutely nothing worthwhile comes easy. And it's your incredible dedication to the task, to your education, and to using your education to making a difference in the world that's made your success possible. This is why more than 25% of our graduating BE students this year have filed for patent protection under capstone design projects from this past year alone. That's a quarter of you developing something that's patentable in just a 2-term capstone course sequence. That is absolutely incredible. This is how you managed to travel to Rwanda, Tanzania, India, Haiti, observing surgeries, learning firsthand the importance of sustainable technology, and appreciating the complexities of economic development in the developing world where infrastructure is very, very different, without missing a beat in the classroom, in the design laboratory, in the research laboratory. You work hard, you ask questions, you observe, you listen, you think. This is how our MEM students found a way to take engineering and business classes at the same time, start companies, run the Thayer gear store, and get involved in countless other aspects of Thayer life. This is how you explore new discovery, engineer new technologies, become MS and PhD recipients who push the frontiers of knowledge and develop solutions to the incredibly challenging problems in energy, in healthcare, in communications, and maybe someday even in the mining of asteroids that Dr. Metcalf described so eloquently earlier this morning. Before we conclude, let me tell you just one other short story that really struck me, and it's something that happened earlier this week. Earlier this week, most of our graduating students gathered with our faculty and staff at my home for a barbecue to celebrate this upcoming commencement. Now, each year, for parents and friends in the audience, each year the graduating students usually have a little exercise where they gently poke fun at one another with some mock awards, who slept the most on a couch in the atrium, things like this. And every once in a while they have some awards that poke gentle fun at some of the members of the faculty. It's a very pleasant evening and nice to get everyone together away from the school just before commencement. This year, instead, students decided to do something a little bit different. And individual students offered their reflections on what they valued most about their time at the Thayer School, whether it was 15 months for MEM students or 5, 6, and beyond years for our ABB, MSME, and PhD students who came close to making a career of their education here and for whom we appreciate your dedication. Those reflections that I later learned are going to be collected in a notebook that will reside in my office for visitors and for prospective students to see. Commented over and over again from students in every degree program that the common denominator was the value you derived from being part of the Thayer community, part of a community of innovators. These were your words. Think about that. The two words that you chose to define your experience were community and innovation, about being part of a group of people dedicated to using your talents and using technology to improve the world. To your families and friends, on behalf of the faculty and staff, let me simply say thank you for lending us an extraordinary group of talented individuals for these past 2 years, for this far too short period of time. And to you, our students, let me say I'm encouraged and very optimistic about our future being in your hands. I know that you're going to carry that spirit of innovation, of inquisitive problem solving, of listening, of thinking, of understanding context before you dive in with a technological solution, the sense of community and the determination to use your education to push the boundaries of knowledge in a way to make a difference in the world. This is exactly what the world needs. Thank you for everything you have contributed to the Thayer School of Engineering, to Dartmouth College during your time here, and congratulations.